Hi guys, welcome to Game 2 Halves. Today we're going to be doing some blind rankings and then maybe reshuffling and doing a general ranking with a bit of a focus on the AFCON because that is taking place January to February. So we're going to go through some players. We've got 5 strikers that we're going to go through. Liam's going to blind rank them, but then we're going to talk about them in a bit of depth and maybe try and actually rank them, which I think is going to be very difficult.
He's told me that the ones he's given me are very difficult, even if I knew where I was going to put them.
I personally think they're very hard to rank, even if you knew the players, never mind trying to blind rank it. So I think it's only fair to let him try and redeem it afterwards.
So first, I'm going to give Levi mine. So he's got African midfielders in the Prem, all-time
blind rank.
All-time blind rank. So I'll start this off then. So, Partey.
Oh, it stinks. You can go 5th.
John Obi Mikel.
I think a bit disrespected, John Obi Mikel.
Yeah, it's good.
No, there could be some good ones in here. Let's put him 4th.
Tarat.
Oh, I think I'd probably have to put Mikel higher than that, but Tarat will then, so he can go 3rd.
Essien.
See, he could be number 1, but there could be a certain man in here. So let's go 2.
Yeah, that's all right.
You go number 1. That's not too bad, that, you know.
Yeah, I like that one.
Adel Tarat was great to watch. Streets won't forget.
Yeah.
But I think
he was more iconic than actually
John
good.
Obi Mikel has to be above Adel Tarat in that list. I'm happy with Partey 5th. He stinks for me. Take that, Arsenal fans. But yeah, I'm happy with that. Toure, Essien. I mean, that's a toss-up. I think people could say they prefer Essien maybe, but Toure's unbelievable. So he's number 1 for me.
Toure was unreal, yeah.
I'm quite happy with that. So I'd only change that ever so slightly.
Yeah.
If I was actually going to change it.
I would agree with you.
Yeah, Tarat, I think, so good on the ball, silky to watch.
It'd go Partey, Tarat, Mikel, Essien,
Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah,
Happy days.
That's what it'd go. But that wasn't yours. Yours was Partey,
John Obi Mikel,
Tarat, Essien. Yeah.
So I'd only swap 2 of them, to be fair. It's not awful. You've been quite kind to me there. This one is difficult.
I tried to mess it up, but I think it's the way I said it.
I've tried to put these in an order that might be difficult to do as well.
Okay.
So I think these are hard. These are going to be African forwards that have played in the Premier League. So some of these are wide players, some of these are central players. But when you're thinking about goal scorers, so even if you could class them as a midfielder at a time, I've tried to do it more as goal scorers. But
okay.
I'd say they're all forwards.
Okay.
So number 1, well, not number 1. First one for you.
Is it going to be number 1?
Sadio Mane.
Oh, 3.
JJ Okocha.
Didn't see much of him.
Yeah, it's like highlight reel stuff for me. I can't really remember the era very well.
Purely on that 5th.
Ooh. Didier Drogba.
2.
Mo Salah.
1.
Riyad Mahrez.
4. Oh, not bad, is it?
I don't know. I don't know how you make that list right.
I think it's good, but I think the older generation will go Okocha's that.
I think
that's good.
Mahrez 4 stinks a bit. But like, how do you put him higher? But
he's not better than Mane.
No, well, I don't know that. I think that's a conversation, you know. Look at the achievements. I know that obviously Mane got, as an individual, was so much more impactful. But Mahrez has left the Prem.
Well, yeah.
Having won a treble and 4 or 5 Premier Leagues. Maybe he's not won that many, don't quote me.
Did City win the league after Leicester won? Did he literally move from Leicester to City and win?
I don't know. I know Kante definitely immediately moved. Let's quickly look at that to be certain. Kante left and then... No, they can't have done because...
Oh, no, because Kante
left and won with Chelsea, but...
Yeah.
Let's have a look at when Riyad Mahrez left. He moved in 2018 to Manchester City, and they probably then won it that year, didn't they? So he won the Prem and the League Cup and the FA Cup in his first season at City. He then won another 3 league titles. So he won 4 league titles at City and 1 at Leicester.
Right.
And the treble and their fake quadruple that they made.
Do you know what probably makes me say Mane more than Mahrez? Because Mane was like on the team sheet straight away, but Pep alternates all.
It makes
Mahrez
you think about it in a different way, and I think Liverpool fans would be all over it saying it's Mane all day. I don't think it's as straightforward as that. I think Mahrez gets disrespected quite a lot.
He does, yeah.
On the ball, he was unbelievable.
Yeah, he was.
He'd ping a goal out in the top corner. He could put a cross in the box.
The fact that like any ping goes over to him, he just kills it dead.
Technically, I think he's brilliant. I think it's a shame that he's gone out to go play in Saudi. I think it's a real waste of, because he's still at that level. He's just won a treble.
Yeah.
And he was, I don't think it was the most recent season. The season before, he was one of their best players.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
But I just think in general, he probably gets quite disrespected and overlooked.
Yeah, I agree. But I just can't see him. Just Drogba iconic. I can't put him above Salah. I personally, I think it's out of Mane and Mahrez for the third position, really.
I think if I'm doing it in a sense where I'm looking at, like how we've done these lists in the past when we rank these players, you have your own personal list and then you can sort of look at it without any outside perspective and say, this is what they achieved, let's rank them and how much they achieved.
Yeah.
And I think if you're going to do that, Riyad Mahrez beats Mane.
Yes.
But if you maybe want to pick a player on your preference, I think you can say Mane beats Mahrez. Because I think that's a reasonable statement, that because they're both quite evenly matched. I wouldn't say it's a clear landslide that one player is better than the other, in my opinion.
Whose prime's better then? So would you go Mahrez prime's better than...
I think in terms of individual effective impact on a game, Sadio Mane more than Mahrez. But in terms of when you look back on the career that they've had in the Premier League, you'd have to say that Mahrez might be one of the most successful African players of all time in the Premier League because of the amount of accolades he's won. But then you look at Mo Salah and the goals scored and things like that. You look at Drogba and the titles that they won.
Yeah.
But he's certainly in the conversation. Whether you say he's the best or not, I'm not saying he is.
You say like,
he's in that conversation.
Like Mahrez on winning all them titles is better than Salah, then, isn't it?
Yeah, because he's only won one Premier League title. You know, if you're looking at this in a Premier League light,
yeah.
But then you look at it overall, they've both won the Champions League and the Premier League. Mahrez won them both in the same season. He also won the Premier League at Leicester. No one else in that list won the Premier League with another club.
No.
Drogba didn't.
No.
Salah and Mane didn't. So when you look at it like that, it's kind of crazy, really. To me.
It is crazy. I think a lot of people do actually forget about that Leicester. And he was, how vital Mahrez was.
Didn't he get PFA Player of the Year?
I don't know if it was Kante or
I can't remember who got it, but
they was all fantastic. So you had Kante in the mid, like just tackling everyone, Vardy scoring, and Mahrez assisting,
goal and assist.
Yeah,
mainly assists, but yeah.
But what Mahrez did sometimes, like they used to just pin it out to him,
pluck it out the air, one touch, bang, straight up to Vardy, scores.
Yeah, unreal.
So I think he gets heavily disrespected when you think. That's why I actually nearly didn't put him in. And I was like, I think it's a really good talking point.
Yeah.
To put Mahrez in, because I don't think people, even City fans maybe, don't really appreciate in terms of the bigger picture how much of an achievement and how much of a successful signing that was.
Yeah.
Because he did get rotated out quite often.
Yeah, that's what it's doing. It's not doing players any good, is it?
It's doing him a bit of an injustice when you think back to some of them. Because you think of Mane, like you say, unless he's injured, he's in the team every single week, scoring goals, majority of games he plays. The one thing you would say about Mane is I do think he became second string to Salah. Salah was the main man always.
Yeah. And
I don't know, maybe some Liverpool fans will disagree. I think Salah's always been the main man. Mane's always been shit hot. And he made a big difference in leaving, I think. Like I say, they've still not really replaced him for quality on that left side.
No.
Even though they brought some great players in. JJ Okocha, just know him as being such a baller, seen all the highlight reels, but I couldn't equally comment similarly to you. I put him probably I probably put him around fourth, but I don't know who I put fifth. If I do that ranking, I struggle like shit.
Yeah.
I think it's a really difficult one.
I was quite pleased with mine, to be fair, but like you say, the Mahrez and Mane could go anyway.
I think Salah is number one for me. But then you do have to question, if you're doing this in that way, can you put him as number one when he's only won one league title?
In terms of quality on
How many did Drogba win?
Oh, I don't know.
2?
I
don't know how many they won in... I know, let me fact check it. Yeah, he didn't have many appearances that second time that he was there. Debut season, he won the Premier League. Was in the World 11. First African player to score 100 Premier League goals. They won the FA Cup past Liverpool. He's the only player to score in 4 separate FA Cup finals. Played in the 2012 Champions League final and scored the equaliser and the winning penalty.
Big game player.
Yeah, he was a big game player. Returned to Chelsea in 2014.
Won the league.
So he won 10 trophies at club level, but whether or not they're all with...
He definitely won when he came back.
Chelsea.
I say, like, so do you know? Obviously, so the thing is with Salah, I've put him first, and I agree with it. But in terms, if I twisted that round and I went in terms of quality on the ball, Salah's not first for me. So you'd go with Kocha first, wouldn't you? Then you
probably would, and then I'd go Mahrez.
Then I'd go Mahrez.
Yeah.
Then probably. I think Mane's quality, like on the ball, was better than Salah's. Because so the thing is, the way I look at it. So if you went back to your 4-4-2 back in the day, I know this is all what ifs, but if you went back to 4-4-2 back in the day, and these players that are playing on the wings now, if they moved back and played as midfielders, wide midfielders, Salah's shit.
What can you create on the ball?
I think Salah's shit.
Yeah, you don't play like that, do you, anymore? So it's difficult.
If you went back in the days, Salah would have to be a striker. If you had the 2 up top,
yeah,
he'd have to be.
And I don't think people don't like to play like that back then with a forward like that. You want a big target man a lot of the time.
That's what I'm saying.
Or maybe you can be one of the 2 playing like that, but alongside a target man.
The evolution of football over the years has been very kind to Salah.
How do we look at it then, genuinely, after just reading off some of those accolades? If we order them in terms of what they achieved in the Premier League, does Mahrez go first?
I think he has to, doesn't he?
It's won the Premier League with 2
in the Premier League, yeah.
But even if you open this up to Europe, yeah,
right,
won more titles than Drogba. They both won the Champions League, but so have Salah and Mane. Yeah. Obviously, Kocha was at Bolton. I don't know who else was he at.
Yeah, I don't know the other.
I remember Bolton. To go Mahrez first, I'd probably put Drogba second because of how much of an impact he made individually in the finals that they went on to win. And then it's a toss-up between Salah and Mane for 3rd and 4th in terms of impact. And you probably go to Salah because he has been the main man for longer.
Yeah.
And there's a world where they could win another Premier League. You know, Mane's already cut that short by moving away from the Prem now.
Kocha went to Hull.
So, you know, he's 5th in terms of achievement.
Yeah.
So if you do in terms of achievement, I think Mahrez is the most successful African player.
Mahrez, Drogba, and then it's a toss-up between Salah and...
You know, you throw Toure in that mix all of a sudden, obviously you're not a forward, so to speak. You know, he's won more Premier Leagues than some of them on there as well.
Feed the yak in, he's top.
But yeah, I think there's a if you call him a forward, there's a world where you can say Riyad Mahrez is the most successful African player to play in the Premier League. I
think he could be down as one of the underrated
at the moment.
Yeah.
You know, who knows what goes on. Salah could stay another 5 years and win a load of titles. It's not going to happen. But
no,
until he leaves, we can't write that off.
Yeah.
But yeah, you guys let us know what you think. How would you order them? Obviously, it's a blind rank to begin with anyway. Where would you put them? Obviously, you can rank these in different ways, your personal preference. I want to see what people have to say in terms of ranking these players based on what they actually won. I think that's an interesting one.
Yeah.
Because that should be black and white, really. Or unless like 2 of them in the list won the same, and then you maybe move
like
them
Salah
up.
and Mane are basically the same, aren't they? Yeah.
But yeah, crazy that Mahrez won as much as he did. And
yeah.
I think because he was never the main man, it doesn't really get the recognition in the same way.
Because even at Leicester, Vardy and Vardy outshadowed him really, but
Yeah, because he's the one scoring more. Then Kante obviously went on and immediately made an impact at Chelsea as well. Mahrez was maybe a slower rise, and then you know what it's like. Your first season under Guardiola, you maybe don't get the minutes.
the fact that Mahrez got bought for 200k as well.
Yeah, it was an absolute bargain, wasn't it?